What's up, y'all? I think my little intro there was a little shorter than normal. Okay, so I want to do this real quick. Um, I have a video here that long ago I thought was lost. In fact, it wasn't even thought, like this video was lost. And we've been talking about a certain group of sovereign citizens on here recently, sovereign scam artists. Francesca Amato, David Straight, David Jose, a whole little group of people that normally kind of hunt for people with open CPS cases. And then they have them enter these sovereign documents and just basically destroy their fucking case. The same group through like loose strings, because all in all, it's like several very small groups that are connected with each other. That's part of this little sovereign scam artist ring. And they're all linked though. And this is the same group that now has 3 different mothers facing kidnapping charges for going and illegally removing their children from a protective situation. And man, this is just a fucking mess. So this though is one of the like very first major victims of this group. This is Arlena Wiles, and she live streamed her arrest when the FBI and police came to her house. So this video and like everything was removed from online. She's actually court ordered at this point to not talk about her child, which is funny because she's been talking about it all over this video. Now there's this very horrid, evil, wretched woman that claims to be a journalist by the name of Shara Michelle that just posts completely incorrect bullshit on her personal Facebook profile while she's trying to promote her music career and basically exploiting the children from these CPS cases and making shit completely worse for the people involved. Like right now, she's actually in the middle of destroying another case of her friend Jamie Johnson, who was another supposed family advocate who's in the middle of losing her children, which another interesting thing with this whole group of scam artists, like it's funny to see what happens when it's their own case. Because none of them seem to even win their own case. Like David Jose still doesn't have his children back. Jamie Johnson, who's claimed to be a globally known activist, she is in the middle of losing her children. Apparently she's a globally known activist, but she doesn't know how to handle her own case. But regardless, Arlena was ordered to take all this offline. And Shara Michelle, this completely fucking ignorant, bottom-feeding scumbag of a human, put this video up. I was actually a little shocked by this. I got messaged this because, like I said, I don't think I ever even got a chance to play this video on a live because it was taken down. But this video is kind of important. It's old. I want to say this happened last year when Arlena was actually arrested for the felony child abuse charges, which I have some documents here too, which actually show that Arlena is, I mean, she was abusing her kid. It's on her own documents that she shared in her defense, but I don't think she understood what she was looking at when she tried to use them. So the reason why I'm playing this old video, though, is because it's relevant to this group, this entire Francesca Amato, David Jose, David Straight, which from there you go into like the Chris Howlett, Kirk Pendergrass, the E-Claws, the Timothy Charles Homeseth, some people that for a minute there until YouTube just clamped down on them had a very dangerous reach. David Straight's still doing his thing. There was actually, I was sent something today, a woman got her door kicked in and just yesterday she was sharing David Straight material. So in this video, what's going on is at this point, Arlena's, and I might be a little off on the timeline here, Arlena's child has been removed, an autistic child has been removed from her custody for, I believe, a couple months at this point, and she's already adopted the nonsensical sovereign legal practices of like David Jose, David Straight, and by this point she's been turning these completely ridiculous documents into court for a couple months. She tried to do a federal lawsuit that was thrown out. Everything she's put into court has been thrown out, basically. And actually, Lola, I did see that. I did see the Ken Scott thing in that video. That was a complete and total train wreck, and I may touch on that too, just because of the people he mentions, and then Shara agreeing with these sovereign practices and whatnot on the phone call. I did see all of that nonsense. It's fucking crazy. But again, so this is just kind of reaffirming and re-showing just how long these people have been doing this to people, and that's mainly because in this video the FBI and the police show up, and then none other than Francesca Amato comes on, who one of her most recent things was scamming a family, not a family, but actually a woman in California out of $5,000 that her parents in Brazil paid. So she actually scammed an elderly couple out of $5,000 at the beginning of the pandemic with Robert Slavin, and then help from David Jose over in Arizona. But with this, you can hear some of the names that she yells out during this arrest video, and just overall, because Arlena's getting ready to go to court. I think her next court date is in January, if I remember correctly. So that's another reason why I wanted to have this video, and I am super fucking happy that Shara was stupid enough to post this video. I'm not even sure where she got it. I can only imagine Arlena sent it to her or something, because it was an original post from her. It's not like she just shared the video out. But again, I haven't had this video, so this is great. I mean, this is actually a really good gift, and I'm glad this group was stupid enough to put this back out here. But so this is the actual arrest of Arlena. So let's go ahead and play this so that we have this in our little channel history and everything. We can refer back to this in the future.
What's your names?
My name is Detective Mendoza with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I have a warrant. Please open the door. I have identification, which I've already shown you. Sheriff's Office.
This is on live right now. Live how the police officers are harassing me.
Arlena, open the door. I have a warrant. Sheriff's Office, we need to talk to you, ma'am.
No, you're not. You don't have a warrant. Do not come in my house.
Ma'am, now that I've ID'd you in that household, if you don't open the door, I will force entry.
You force entry? This is on Facebook, everyone. What's your name, officers?
I will force entry, ma'am. If
You force... Come on. My stepson's in here. Don't you force entry on my home. Look at this, people. Look at this, everyone. Someone displaying themselves. No, this is not a warrant. Your process served. You said process server, then you said a warrant. Which is it, officer? No, it's not a warrant.
There's a warrant for your arrest, ma'am.
No, there isn't. Evelyn?
No, there isn't.
Call the cops right now, Evelyn. Call the FBI.
They're there.
They're in my house, everyone. They're going to try to break down my door. They're trying to break down my door right now. They say that they're going to force entry in my home. Look at everybody who these officers are. Look at their faces. Know real closely what these people's faces look like. No, I do not, and you're not going to arrest me. What's the charge? What's the charge? What's the charge? I'm not going outside until you tell me what's the charge. What is the charge, officer? What's the charge, officer? We can talk right outside this door. What's the charge? What's the charge, officer? What's the charge? What's the charge? I'm asking you a question. What's the charge? What's the charge? I'm not opening the door. I'm not opening the door, officer. You're not coming in my home. This is how the police bully people, you all. This is how they bully them in Arizona. But I've got a federal court case. It's at the 9th District Court of Appeals. This is going to make my case stronger. And you'll be subpoenaed in the real court of record, officer. You and your minions.
Her case was thrown out because it was pure sovereign nonsense, just to make sure that's clear.
How about that? You want to see that I've got this in the federal? You lose your jobs over this and your badges. See, the place is it's parked right outside in my yard, pulled in my private property.
Arlene, we're not going away. We have a warrant for your arrest.
You are not arresting me.
We are not going away.
Yes.
Well,
what's going to happen, listen, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a second warrant and we're going to break the door down.
break my door down, okay? Come on, break my door down in front of everybody. Show everybody your sorry self going against a loving mother. No, you are a sorry individual, officer. A sorry individual. A sorry excuse for a human being. Look, everybody. Look at his face. He is a sorry excuse for a human being. Look.
I need you to open the door.
What for? What for? Tell me what for. You will tell me what for. You can't charge me. You got to read me my rights and charge me and tell me what for. What's the charge? You do have to tell me. You do have to tell me. You're on live right now, and you will not tell me why I'm being charged.
I will have you explain it.
Everybody share this. Share and double share and make this viral. And make this man's face go viral. Make this precinct go viral. Okay? This is a sorry excuse for a human being.
You're not leaving.
This is the FBI, and I am serious. Look, he's got FBI. They are. This is what goes to show you the corruption, the deep corruption with Mark Brenovich and Governor Doug Ducey. The deep state corruption that has destroyed what I have with my son. You?
Just an FYI, like, this isn't a good idea. If the FBI is at your door, this isn't the best way to handle it. I'm not saying not to video. Videoing is fine, but the whole screaming like a maniac at them, not the best strategy at all. Normally, if it really is a wrongful situation, you'd be a little bit better put together and, I don't know, maybe get your attorney on the phone or something, but not a good strategy.
Are involved in breaking and entering my home.
We're not breaking.
That's a warrantless search and seizure. Warrantless. It's not a warrant. Who got the warrant? Who got the warrant? Who obtained the warrant?
Open the door.
Who? No, I'm not opening the door for you.
Then I'm going to have to get a body warrant and we're going to have to...
Well, you go and do that, and then you come back. Then you come back, okay?
You're not going to open it.
You're not going to break down my door down without a warrant. And that you said process server, and then you lied in front of everyone stating it was process serving, and because I wouldn't let you in, you said it's a warrant.
That is true. Frank over on Periscope, be careful filming. If your phone is black, it could be mistaken for a gun. That is 100% true. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just a shit situation. But I can definitely tell you screaming like a maniac at the FBI is not going to help your situation.
Which is it, officer? Which is it?
I told you who I am already, man. I'm a deputy sheriff with the sheriff's
Oh,
office.
yeah, but why am I being charged? What's the charge?
Open the door.
Tell me what's the charge, and I'll let you in. Tell me what's the charge.
I have already complied with you enough.
No, you did not comply with me, nothing.
Open the door.
You have not complied with me. Hey, Fran, this is the police.
And here's where everything goes from bad to worse. If you are going to live stream, don't have your quote-unquote advocate come on the stream to yell at the police with you through your Facebook Live video. This is Francesca Amato, like sovereign scam artist. Lost her own civil cases recently, lost a custody hearing over her own kids. So again, these are all people that claim that they'll do all this shit for everybody else, but they literally can't win their own cases. This is Francesca Amato hopping on the Facebook Live, which again is why we're playing the video, just because of some of the people that she names, just to have record of that. And again, why I'm so happy that Shar was stupid enough to put this back on Facebook. So this
is the police, everyone. Hey, Fran.
And here's where we go from bad to worse.
Fran?
I'm here. Let me talk to them. I'm here. I need everybody to share this like crazy.
Yes, this is old. This is a video. This is her original arrest, but this video is taken off. I don't think I ever even had a chance to play this video on live, so that's why I'm playing this video, just to have it with people that Fran mentions and whatnot. So no, this is not a new arrest. This is her initial arrest, but it does show how long these people have been doing this shit and links a few of these people together.
I just got off the phone with the commissioner over Arizona Mesa and special people from Congress, and this is a case of child abuse by Arizona, and America is watching. So we need this viral. We need their badge numbers. We need their IDs, 3 forms of identification, and we need everybody making this viral right now.
Okay, never. You don't need 3 forms of identification from LEOs. I don't even know why she said that number.
Jonathan and abused this child repeatedly.
No, you're not. And they still haven't told me what the charge is, Fran. They have not told me why I'm being charged. He says he doesn't have to tell me. What's the charge? What's the charge?
Listen.
A sealed grand jury case.
Sharing this like wildfire.
A sealed grand jury case. He's lying.
I need everybody sharing this like crazy, please. This is emergency. Jonathan Zeke has been stolen by CPS for over 11 months. He's an autistic child. It's a part of medical kidnapping. They've abused this boy. He's getting bruises inside of CPS care. He wants his mother back, and the police are violating her rights in Arizona. They come with the FBI, imagine. Where's the FBI when these children need to be protected by CPS? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys when you're violating the rights of these families? Where's the FBI when people come looking for you to help?
They will cost.
How dare they?
It's just fucking noise. Just 2 lunatics screaming nonsense over each other on Facebook Live, basically.
Shame on you!
Taxpayers' money and kidnap children from loving mothers on taxpayers' money. You should be ashamed of yourself.
They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. So they surround an innocent mother's home like a drug dealer.
They won't even tell me a charge.
They surround an innocent mother's home. There is no charge. They can't tell you a charge because they have no charge.
There is none. You're lying.
They never have jurisdiction when it comes to protect. They never have jurisdiction when it comes to protecting children, but they surround the innocent in Arizona. They come and steal children in the middle of the night at 2:30, okay, with SWAT teams because a child has a fever. Okay, now they're harassing Arlena Wiles. In the meantime, Jonathan's been in danger in foster care. Okay.
That he would have his teeth knocked down his throat, as well as going to jail.
Yep.
I wanted to come home to me as loving mother. And look at this, everyone.
Everyone needs to share this viral live. Share this live and make it viral, please.
I'm already at the door.
Share this live and make it viral, please.
I'm not opening the door for you.
No, this is not ICE.
You haven't shown me the warrant. You haven't shown me the warrant. This is not ICE. Show me the warrant. Show me the warrant, officer. Show it to me right now through the window. Show the warrant.
Show the warrant and show your forms of ID.
That you have in the warrant.
This is what goes on.
No, you haven't shown me nothing.
No, it's not. It's like, first of all, they have the child for 11 months. They gave him an unnecessary operation. They gave this child an unnecessary operation in which they had to reverse, all because they didn't listen to this mother in the first place. Okay, this is sick what's going on. And this is going to be made viral. So
show me the warrant, the extent warrant. Show me the court order. Show me the court order.
Arizona is the most corrupt state in the country.
Show me the warrant.
I'm trying to get David straight on here right now, David, Jose, but I need everybody.
Okay, so right there, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have this video on my channel. She was trying to get David straight on, and she was talking to David Jose in the comments. Arlena has been an odd one, because when she started to get into more and more trouble over using these crazy nonsensical sovereign shit, David Jose and them started denying ever helping her. And David straight said, like, he gave advice, but she didn't take it, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. You can see that from her many, 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 many nonsensical sovereign documents that she entered into court. In fact, to the point that I don't think she's even allowed by the court to enter anymore. She's not allowed to file shit anymore because she put so much crazy ass shit into the court. So again, I saw over on YouTube people asking, this is an old video, but again, this is why we're playing it, just because of this, because of the names involved. And then we'll run through some of her paperwork, and I'll go ahead and show you why this was actually a valid arrest. She's charged with 2 felony counts of child abuse, which from documents she entered thinking would help her actually show that she's correct for being charged for child abuse.
Sharing this live for the sake of this little. First of all, Jonathan's been in danger thanks to CPS in Arizona for over 11 months. That kid has been in danger. Okay, Mom finally got to see him a little over a month ago for the first time.
This is what corruption looks like. He's not even reading me.
It's called medical kidnapping, and Arizona. We need a spotlight on Arizona, like right now. They're violating
the actual copy of the warrant.
They can't. They don't have anything.
Hold on a minute.
They don't.
This is showing me a copy of the warrant. There is no warrant. There is no criminal charges. And this is the handiwork of Debbie Oze, everyone. The corruption with Debbie Maria Loze. She's out for my blood.
You guys need to share this, guys. I need you guys sharing this. Share this. I don't know why people don't share Jonathan. This kid is in dire danger. It really upsets me that we get thousands and thousands.
Oh, it's always, with this group, it's always medical kidnap. That's always the go-to. It was medical kidnap, which, by the way, Arlena's son is actually with his father. It's not even a CPS situation. Kind of like this Jamie Johnson situation where they're claiming a CPS case, and now like the sovereigns are apparently starting to latch onto that, when in reality it was her daughter that filed the paperwork and shit to get her siblings out of Jamie, her mother's care. So it's not even like this isn't a medical kidnapping. Her teenage son is with his father.
Thousands of views.
That's going to be on their heads and on their hands. His blood.
If you get anybody's name, Arlena, if you get anybody's name that's at your front door, you need to let us all know who that is.
So you can throw me to the ground? So you can throw me to the ground?
Imagine, they come after an innocent mother, but they let the child stay in danger in Arizona. They come on SWAT teams into whole families in Arizona and steal children in the middle of the night as if they're drug dealers and stuff like that. Well, then show the warrant. Show the warrant, because America's watching. Put the warrant in front of the window. Let's see this warrant.
He says there's a warrant, but can't show me the warrant.
If there has to be a warrant and a charge. What's the charge? You don't just come hijacking.
Show the warrant. Show it to me. Show it to me. Show it to everyone. Not show a vanilla folder. Put it in front of the window.
Please share this, everybody. You guys that
They
are
say
on right
FBI,
now,
if this is
let me
the
tell the
FBI,
story
then
real
they're
quick.
doing a sorry job
Jonathan
at their
Zeke.
jobs.
Jonathan Zeke was stolen by Arizona CPS because the mother wanted a second opinion on her child's health. He is an autistic boy. Arizona steals
these officers will
autistic
be
children.
called.
It's well
I'll
known.
get a report later, and I will know their
Arizona
names.
steals
I'll get their
autistic
names,
children.
and they will have to face me in federal court.
They did a operation on Jonathan
You
and
will
then
have to
reversed
face
the
me in
operation because they
federal
were
court.
wrong.
And you will have to testify as to what you've done.
This is what Arizona does.
You will.
Okay?
And
So if you guys are watching, please share and invite your friends
what
list.
they're doing today.
This is another innocent
And I'll have
parent
the
being
badges.
victimized, and now the FBI has shown up. Picture this. The FBI has shown up for what reason on an innocent mother's property after Arizona stole this child and gave him an operation he didn't need. When mom finally saw him a couple of weeks ago for the first time, he had bruises on his body. And he told mom that and there was a witness there, and I've been a witness all along.
Robin,
And he told mom that he's being beat up in foster care. A child who has never been beat up at home is being beat up in foster care. This is an autistic child, Jonathan Zeke. He is being beat up in foster care. Mom is an innocent Christian woman with no background whatsoever, a clean background, immaculate background. She is now being surrounded by the FBI in Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. Okay, this is what they do in Arizona. Arizona steals autistic children because the federal funding is large. Okay, so we need you to share this far and wide. We need every name of everybody at her door and on her private property. It doesn't matter if it's CIA, FBI, these people carrying guns like terrorists on her property. Now, her child is not even in her care. He is with them in foster care being abused.
And go and exit my property, please. Thank you.
Show the warrant. Show the so-called warrant and the charge.
My property, leave your warrant. Leave your warrant at my doorstep for me to look at and leave my private property now.
Make sure that you guys continue to share this. Continue to share this.
Won't even show me the warrant.
David Jose, I need you to share
Through
this.
the window.
Can you guys do watch parties on this as well? Share your entire friends list to this as well.
Well, you're going to resolve it by putting handcuffs on me? Is that how you're going to resolve it?
And how are you going to save my son? We want to know how you're going to protect this child. How are you going to protect this child being abused in CPS care? Do you not see what's going on in this world? That CPS has endangered more children than Hitler. This is sick what you people are doing.
Officer, by arresting me? Is that how you're going to resolve it?
It's so much worse with headphones on. This is my first time listening to this with headphones on, and it's so much worse, you guys. It's so much worse.
Right, and keeping that child in continual abuse in foster care where he's being bruised and beaten?
Way.
Get the facts first before you start arresting innocent people. Get the facts first.
Officer. And everyone is seeing your behavior on Facebook Live. Millions of viewers have seen your face.
When this happens to their children, because believe me, no one's exempt, then they'll start to wake up. Then they'll start to wake up.
This is how bad it is in Arizona, everyone. I just want to show you. This is how bad it is in Arizona when you keep. We
already know how bad it is in Arizona. It is the worst state.
Innocent parents to have them arrested.
Arizona is the worst child trafficking state.
Which Arizona is a fucked up state, especially in the government, but not for any of the examples these psychopathic scammers fucking claim.
Arizona is the worst child trafficking state in the nation. That's why they had these sex trees in Arizona.
Child trafficking
where they're pedophiling children.
But then
they weren't pedophile trees. They weren't. She's talking about the fake veterans, dudes that claimed they found a trafficking thing in Arizona. It wasn't true. The tree with the belts on it and shit, that's common. People that are crossing over into America from Mexico, crossing the border and shit, and also homeless people and stuff, it's pretty common for those trees that you'll have different bands and straps and shit tied to it because they hang their bags and shit up there. Like, that's common. That's not like something shocking or unknown. They fucking tie that shit to the trees to keep it off of the ground, to keep scorpions, shit like that from coming in. If it's raining, it keeps it from just sitting in a puddle of water. You tie your shit to hang it and get it off the fucking ground. It wasn't some weird rape tree where they left all the fucking belts just tied to the fucking tree.
They will accost and harass innocent parents.
Okay, well, I'm putting options right now. It's being moved to the TV stations immediately. That's what I'm doing. So I'm taking this law, bringing it right onto the TV stations from California to New York. That's what I'm doing right now. Everybody take this viral, mad viral.
My husband will be home soon.
Just remember that this is what's going on in Arizona, everybody. They're stealing autistic children. They're sex trafficking and
Is that on her end? I think it is on her end because it's Fran.
Of CPS getting that child out of there.
I need help,
the child.
Oh no, Fran said she put it on every TV station from California to New York, so you know it's good. It's good. It's not like she's still going to jail and like basically has her rights severed and everything. You know, it's good.
Why don't you go ask the child?
I need help. I need help, somebody.
Come on, everybody, share it. Share it. This is an innocent mother with a clean background who's protected and loved her child. He is an autistic boy. CPS stole him, gave him an operation he did not need. Mom said he had an operation he did not need, and they reversed the operation.
Show it to me. No, you have to show it to me prior to
Well, he sure as hell does. He sure. I'm sorry. Our Constitution says so. Did we just leave the? Did we just?
That you cannot come in my home without probable cause and without showing me the warrant. You do not have a warrant. You're lying.
And not showing ID, not showing anything.
Not showing a warrant.
Not showing ID.
This is how they do it here. Arrest people without a warrant.
Keep it going, guys.
Oh man.
This is how we end this corruption in this country. This is sick. And what they should be doing is checking on that little boy.
15 more minutes.
Why not?
Why not, though? Why wouldn't he show it? If you've got it, show it.
Here it is, Miss Willis.
And arrest for what? What does he say? What arrest for what?
I don't have to tell you the charge. I don't have to tell you the charge.
Oh, only in, oh, what is it? Is there? I'm sorry. Is Arizona communist China? What's Arizona?
You have to make your quota today.
Didn't he take an oath? He took a. That agent in front of your door took an oath to the Constitution. That Constitution is.
I remember the woman screaming hysterically in that little black box is supposed to be a nationally respected advocate with ties to Congress, the president, you name it. You wouldn't guess it by her lack of knowledge and the irrational screaming, but I'm sure we can take her word for it.
Me without probable cause, without a warrant, you can't enter my home. You cannot arrest me without a warrant. Come back when you have a valid warrant.
And if he kicks the door down, that's going to be wonderful. While Facebook is watching. You have people who screwed up this case, and now you're standing at the wrong property.
You do not have a valid warrant. Goodbye. Goodbye, officer. You don't have a valid warrant. Goodbye-bye. You don't want to show me the warrant, so bye-bye. Please leave what you got on the ground.
Oh, he's probably sent somebody to go get one.
Leave my property.
He's probably
my property right now. Leave it. No, you don't. You haven't shown me that. Can you show me that through the window?
Get me back on.
Show it to me through the window. No, I'm not coming out. Show me through the window. I'm not stepping out of my home. I am not stepping out of my home. No, you say so, but where's the warrant? Show me the warrant.
As it turns out, they did have a warrant.
The only person that's with her is her stepson, to my understanding. I need to get back on. Am I on? Can you guys hear me? Am I on?
Unfortunately.
Violent crime task force.
Am I on?
You know what? They won't even show me the warrant. They don't have none. They don't have no criminal charge. Show me the warrant through the window.
Get me back.
I will step out if you can show it's a valid warrant, ink-stamped warrant with a judge's signature. And show it to me right now. Not later, right now. Right now, not later.
Okay, I am still on. Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
So let me explain. They took this child all because mom wanted a second opinion.
Show me the warrant right now.
I'm listening. Okay.
What?
Thank you, guys.
Well, you know what? Is that's well, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, but you're not showing it.
No,
to me.
put the warrant to the window.
Show it to you. Don't believe me? Show me the warrant. Show
They've already
me the warrant.
They've already put her child and her through hell for 12 months.
You cannot break down my door without showing me the warrant. You break down my door, you don't have a warrant, I will come after you. Do you understand that? Legally.
Jesus.
Legally.
They're unlawfully handling this, unlawfully. You took an oath to the Constitution. The Fourth Amendment says unlawful search and seizure, you must show up on probable cause, the warrant. You don't have a warrant. No, you don't. You keep saying
the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees the people's right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures.
You show me the warrant.
The government agent must have a warrant to search and seize you or your property.
Show it to me through the window. Show it to me through the. No, that's a folder. That doesn't show me nothing. It doesn't show me a
I'm going to read it again. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees that the people have the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures.
I don't believe you, but they're not showing me anything. Once I open the door, you're going to slap handcuffs on me and arrest me. Leave what you've got, your warrant, and I'll come back with my proof that everything they say are lies at your office. And I will stand before the judge.
Oh, we'll get to what she did to have her kid taken away. And this is by her own documents that she entered that she thought would clear her name.
Why are they not checking? Why are they not checking on your son that they've endangered and abused? Why are they not checking on him?
First they come, listen, friend.
Why are they at your house instead of where they should be?
Listen, first they come to their door and say, oh, I'm a process server, lying like a dog. Open the door. This is a process server. Which is it? Process server or warrant?
Okay, this just made every single TV station from California to New York. You're live. You're live, so get his badge number.
Why not? Of course it did.
The Constitution protects you under the Fourth Amendment. Unlawful search and seizure to your person, property.
What's your badge number?
You are live, fellas. Smile pretty. Smile pretty.
Constitution, I have rights. Okay? I have rights as an American.
Keep it going, guys. Keep sharing this. Keep sharing this because we're done with this nonsense. We are done with children being abused, and we are done with these bullies carrying guns and badges that took oaths to our Constitution while they endanger the children in this nation. And they go after innocent parents.
I will explain, and I will go to the court hearing. Oh, that's not the way things work.
This has nothing to do with Lee Kenworthy, Shara. This is way different than Lee. This is an innocent.
Oh, and you'll hear there's Shar in the comments too. So like really, this again, I'm really glad that this video is reposted and Shar is this stupid, just because of the names that she's mentioning off and just showing how far back this group is like taking advantage. And that's really at the end of the day, that's what happened here. It's clear Arlena. And I'll show you some court documents here in a second that she entered herself. It's clear that her, she's mentally unstable. It's clear by the documents that she was entering into court and whatnot. So this situation, Arlena really was like one of their first victims. I don't know what kind of financial deal or anything like that was put together between them, but she was just mentally unstable enough that she listened to David Straight and David Jose and Francesca Amato when the CPS case, and it was a correct CPS case. It 100% is a correct CPS case. She was about to kill her 16-year-old autistic son. And she posted proof of that I'll show in just a minute. But yeah, that's really what this was. And then when her case just started falling apart, that's when they kind of just ditched her and stopped claiming her, like Fran and David Straight and David Jose. And she just kept on spiraling. So with the sort of mental instability that was going on after the removal, there's no way that this didn't exist before the removal. So this actually is a situation where it was lucky that they stepped in for the son. And then not only that, but the son is not in CPS custody. This is not something where CPS is getting federal money for this kid. He's with his dad again. And the father, or the kid's attorney, actually entered a motion into court to stop for the mother, Arlena, to stop putting his name and shit online, which she cannot seem to do. Because even in this video, she's in the comments talking all about the case and shit, which is a violation of one of the more recent court orders.
Mother with a clean background, with nothing on her record, where they stole the child and gave him an operation that he didn't need. Then they reversed the operation because mom was right all along. And every single record she has is impeccable. And they should be going after that child right now and getting him out of there.
And put handcuffs on her for what she did to my child.
You can't even compare this to Lee. You can't even compare this to Lee. Not even close.
Talk to him, please. No, I can't. I need to.
Do you see a warrant, Arlena? Any warrant?
We'll let you talk to him outside over here.
I've got this live on every station.
He'll be coming home soon, okay?
Will you come outside and talk to him when you get to him?
I will talk to you, officer, okay? I will talk to you, officer, but they haven't shown me the warrant.
This is shameful and pitiful.
You need to show me the warrant. They haven't shown me before they came to my house. Show me the actual copy.
Arizona is the most screwed up state I've ever seen. The most screwed up state I've ever seen.
Who's responsible for the warrant?
New York is coming second close. West Virginia.
No, the grand jury. But who sent forth for my warrant? Who sent forth for my warrant?
They are trespassing. They are trespassing. They are trespassing. There's no question. They are trespassing.
Did Governor Doug Ducey have something to do with this? The grand jury. On what grounds? On what grounds, sir?
They're probably going to take her anyway, Shara, but we need more views on this so America can see what they're doing in Arizona. They're stealing children, giving them operations, bruising them, sexually trafficking them, and then going after the innocent parents. Unfortunately, this is how people have to fight in this country. It's very sad.
I've also got copies of
all
of my records. I'm going to be standing before a jury, and they will acquit me.
There's no question.
A jury
will question about that.
And this will look good on my federal court case.
Aye, lad.
It is. I need to.
It is a she banshee fan. And I saw your question a second ago. Yeah, this is an old video. This is Arlena's arrest. Just for anybody that just hopped in on YouTube too. And then also, I guess we are on Periscope too. I do have a couple of you on Periscope. I really need to use Twitter and Periscope more. Yeah, this is Arlena's original arrest. I never had this video as far as I can remember. It was removed from online. That terrible human being, Char Michelle, recently reposted it for God knows what reason. So I just wanted to get it on a live before they realize how stupid that was, and it's taken down. So now we have it over on my channel forever. Because don't get me wrong, while I think Arlena is a victim, I can't say, like, she's a victim of the sovereigns. She shouldn't have listened to them. They shouldn't have preyed on her. I can't in good faith say I necessarily feel bad for her, though. That kind of got a little bit worse looking through these documents that she entered into court the other night. yeah, I can't say that I necessarily feel bad for her overall. I do think she's a victim of the sovereigns and it made shit worse. If they didn't get involved, this was perhaps something where some mental health could have helped out. But I think after we look through some of these documents, you'll probably see where I'm coming from on that.
Talk to my husband first, okay, sir? I need to talk to him and let him know that about my documents and what to do with them, okay? Okay, can you allow me to get some clothes on too, sir? Can you allow me to get some clothes on too, sir? Hold on. Oh, I gotta try to open this. I don't think it'll open. Oh, it's supposed to open. Sir? I need to talk to my husband first to tell him what to do with my documents when he gets home. And I also need to get some clothes on too.
As soon as your husband gets here, you'll have to come up front. You can talk to him. He'll go get you your clothes.
Okay. Because I don't want to go looking like this, okay?
Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant, Arlena?
Fucking
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
Arlena, where's the warrant?
They won't show it to me. They said they're going to show it to me.
Where's the warrant? Why are they
Where's the
there?
warrant?
What's the charge? I mean, seriously, where's the warrant? Why are they there? What's the charge? We have no answers.
That I'm doing a live on this, okay?
They already stole Jonathan and gave him an unnecessary operation and are beating him up in foster care.
What's happening?
So what's the deal? Oh, this isn't just live, honey. This is all over. All over. You have no idea where I have this every TV station. I made sure of it.
God, I don't know how people fall for this.
Well, you know,
bullshit.
you can't
All
let me.
over.
You can't show it all over the internet. You want to show yourself all over the internet arresting me?
Right. Oh, I can show it anywhere I want to. This is America, sweetheart.
This is America, and this is America.
This is America.
Have you forgotten
It's still
that? Have you
America,
forgotten your
everybody.
oath to the Constitution?
They obviously have. They think we're in
This is
communist
not
China. They
communist
think this is the
China,
days of
but
Hitler.
It feels like communist China right now. I am mad. I am mad that Miss Olze is behind this, and she has taken my son, and she is out for blood, and my son's in danger. Yes, I will present all of this in court, officer, okay? But I need to have a copy of this warrant. I need to have a copy so my husband can take a copy. I'm not going to put it on the internet. Just give it to my husband, okay? So I can have a copy of it. Do you understand? I need a copy of it. I need a copy of it. I need a copy of it for my records for federal.
One thing with the warrant, you know, there's technology now, so more and more you are seeing that there's digital copies of the warrants and then paperwork of all this shit's given once you're released. That's just kind of expected as technology continues to improve. I know, what was it? I think it was a Neely Blanchard's arrest, maybe. That was also caused from E-Clause after she kidnapped her kid. That's one of the arguments that was being used, that there was no paper warrant, and so they were lying about it. Or maybe that was Cynthia Absig. See, and that's why we're still even playing with these groups, because at this point, even as of recently, what I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, their third kidnapping case occurred. Like, these people have desperate parents kidnapping their kids and doing sovereign law practices and giving them money and doing all this crazy shit, and it's insane. And the thing is, though, is that they do prey on desperate people, the same as like people with magical cancer cures and shit like that. It's the same thing. Somebody that's desperate to cure their cancer, and they turn to this person that has this magical berry that, you know, has cured cancer all over the world, and here, pay this. There's that desperation level, and that's what sovereigns are always attracted to. It's always some sort of criminal, CPS, or bankruptcy, financial. So it's just this desperation where people, like, they just promise him everything. Like David Straight literally says he can get you basically out of anything, and says that he talks with the president. He goes to the fucking Rose Garden, and he's part of the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. This is that whole entire group for anybody that's watched any of the past lives on these fucking sociopaths.
I can't come out right now.
Dr.
not
Phil,
dressed. I
Dr.
told
Phil
you I'm
is an
not
idiot.
dressed.
He ain't gonna do anything.
I told you I have to wait
Dr.
for my son,
Phil.
because my stepson's here. I have to wait for my husband to get home. Yeah, come out. For what?
Frank, that's an excellent question, my friend. Could they charge them with practicing law without a license? These assholes are in a very gray area where they're not necessarily practicing law without a license. They've skimmed that edge and definitely, I think, put their foot over that line a few times. It technically, they're like charging for like their opinions almost. So they're in that very, very, very dark gray area where it's not exactly practicing law without a license. Like, they're not showing up to court for these people. They're not pretending to be their lawyers. They're not doing shit like that. They do these like private consultations, and like David Straight has people raise up money and gather money to fly him around the country for him to speak at his little seminar things. And so it's not exactly practicing law without a license. That's kind of where this falls into, because a lot of people have wondered why they haven't been arrested for practicing law without a license, and the problem is that technically they're not. Kirk's definitely pushed that. Francesca has definitely pushed that. Like when they ripped off the woman in California for $5,000, I believe she may have actually filed whatever, which I don't even think it was filing. They gave paperwork to the California governor on behalf of this woman that her parents in Brazil paid for, that did absolutely nothing. So they're not practicing law technically. Most of the people also, and this is another thing that sucks, and it like even falls into like QAnon kiddos and shit like that. People don't want to admit that they were taken for a fool. That's hard for a lot of people to do. So with a lot of these situations where they put so much faith into these people, for them to turn on them, they would actually have to admit that they, and not to sound like an asshole, but that they would have to admit that they were dumb enough to fall for it. And that's going to be really, really, really hard for a lot of people to do. People don't like to admit that they're gullible or anything like that. So the people that they actually help have been very reluctant to come forward and press charges against them, because, you know, that's an aspect that you have to consider. It's embarrassing, especially with how vocal they are on social media, and they argue people and, you know, no, this is right, this is how the laws are, blah, blah, blah. And then no matter, like, once it just goes down in burning flames, normally the victims of them just kind of go quiet instead of like speaking out. But again, that's understandable because it's embarrassing. You got had, and nobody wants to admit that.
Oh, trust me, it's beyond on the internet. I have TV stations from California to New York. It's on every one of them right now. It'll be.
I am gonna. What are you gonna do? Put me in the cop car once I step outside, looking like this?
Yeah.
Everyone, look. This is sad.
Okay,
I have to get dressed because my stepson is in here, and if I open the door, I need my husband home.
No, Dr. Phil is for CPS. That's right. That's right. He would turn a blind eye to this. He just does his rating stuff to make himself look good. I agree, Daniel.
They've got. This is Debbie Olze's handiwork, everyone.
Once served. That's right, Shannon. Once served, it becomes your property.
They're planning on arresting me today.
Jesus Christ.
They're planning on arresting an innocent mother for protecting her child, for having them steal her child, and then to make it even worse, they abused the child, bruised him. Okay, he wants to go home. This is so sick, beyond sick, beyond sick, absolutely sick. I have it going live off of YouTube as well.
What do we got?
Let me see if I can get it on a better, guys, hang tight here. And the FBI, instead of them taking care of this, instead of the FBI actually taking care of this,
they're not taking care of it. They're coming against an innocent person. They're coming against an innocent person, Fran.
Right. Instead of the FBI taking care of this and helping families, no, instead they attack the innocent. They attack the ones that pay their paychecks. They attack the innocent. Okay, instead of checking in on that little boy, it's so simple. Like, if you're hearing us tell you this right now, then they should go run and as fast as they can go check on that little boy. Go check on Jonathan.
I asked the police. Listen, Fran.
In Arizona they do. In Arizona they do.
Check on my son. Instead of checking on my son, they do this.
Yep.
This is where our taxpayers' dollars are going.
Well, maybe.
This is where our taxpayers' dollars are going.
But it's interesting how they suddenly have jurisdiction. Go to them for help with the countless families who are being abused through the fake family court, and they tell you they have no jurisdiction. It's the biggest joke you've ever seen. They tell you they have no jurisdiction. It's hysterical. But they have jurisdiction to come bother an innocent mother that just wants to protect her child with an immaculate background.
My son, who's in danger, whose life is in danger, but they sure will harass me.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now, Janita. I was trying to get it. For some weird reason, I don't think the internet, here it comes. I'm going to, yeah.
I need my husband to be back home before I go outside.
I'll just reschedule it after. I'll get it onto the TV stations. It's fine.
I need my husband to come home before I go outside. He's coming home in a few minutes, okay?
Arlena, how old is your son? Arlena, how old is your son? I am praying, Rosalind. How old is Jonathan? The one that they did an operation he didn't need.
But listen, Fran. Listen, Fran.
And tell them what
my stepson here. I have to wait until I get my husband home so I can talk with him.
Right. Has anybody reached out to your husband?
So, because he needs to come home. He was at Fry's picking up some stuff. But I need for him to come home before I leave my stepson. My stepson is 15, but I'm not going to leave him.
No.
He is in
Have they shown
room.
you a warrant?
No, he's not coming
Have
out.
they shown you a warrant?
Jesus.
Why should a child see that guns and FBI at their door? Are you kidding me? They want the child to see FBI and police and guns?
Allow my husband to come home so we can do this the right way, officer, okay?
And they still have not shown you a warrant, right?
Now. I'm going to call my husband to come home as soon as possible.
Yes, the stepson.
They probably did watch for him to leave, Shannon. You're probably right. They probably did watch so they could.
I'll be right back on live in a minute.
Okay. So again, that was video of Arlena's arrest. With Francesca Amato on there, naming David Straight, David Jose, these other sovereign citizens that have been scamming desperate parents with CPS cases. Now, as far as Arlena goes, this, I believe, is her actual arrest affidavit. On or about October 27th, 2017, through and including September 9th, 2018, under circumstances likely to produce death or serious physical injury, and while having the care or custody of victim A child intentionally or knowingly did cause, permit victim A, person or health to be injured, or did cause or permit victim A to be placed in a situation where his person or health was endangered, to wit, failure to thrive in violation of ARS, blah, blah, blah. Arlena Wiles on or about October 27, 2017, through and including September 9, 2018, under circumstances likely to produce death or serious physical injury, and while having the care or custody of victim A child, intentionally or knowingly did cause a permanent or permit victim A's person or health to be injured, or did cause or permit victim A to be placed in a situation where his person or health was in danger, to wit, obstructed medical care in violation. So that's actual affidavit. This is what happened when Arlena started listening to David Straight and David Jose and Francesca Amato. This is a court document she actually entered, and there's many of them. There's countless of these. I mean, dozens upon dozens. She flooded the courts with this nonsense. I'm not even going to take a lot of time to like read through this. I've read through some of her documents in the past. This was like the crazy sovereign shit where she told the court that she was not lost at sea, that she was not deceased, she was actually alive, and it's just this sort of nonsense. Is it Bible verses? Why not? Let's just turn a bunch of Bible verses into the court for whatever reason. But that is one of the things with sovereigns. Sovereigns do have this whole we're under God's law, blah blah blah. They don't believe in like it's just a fucking mess. But so that's kind of an example of Arlena's paperwork. Like this is the crazy shit she was turning in. This is why she's now not allowed to turn anything or file anything with the court unless it's permitted by the court first, because she was just bombing them with all of this nonsensical shit. And that's where the term paper terrorism comes from, because sovereigns do this weird, they use their perception of the law, which is very incorrect, and they just file non-stop paperwork and drown the courts in these paperwork. And that's where states are starting to make paper terrorism illegal, because regardless of it being completely nonsense, somebody still has to sit down and look through the paperwork. And so obviously that causes problems with the court. Like right here's an example. On July 3rd, 2019, petitioner filed an affidavit, which that's what David, Jose, and Francesca were promoting, these affidavits that will get you out of anything, and it came from David Straight. And on July 9th, 2019, a notice, the purpose of these documents is unclear because this case is closed and petitioner's appeal is currently pending. The court, so I mean, even the court is, in their response to their shit, is saying, like, we don't really understand why she entered this, because the case she entered it for is not even, like, it's closed. We're waiting for her appeal on that right now, but that case is closed, and we don't really know what to do with these documents. This is why they've done this. Now, this I'm not going to, and I will, actually, let's do this real quick, too, because she is court ordered to stay offline, and I did grab some of these, just so you know, from that video that Shara posted. She's still right here, even after the court told her to stop. She's over here in the comment section just doing her crazy bullshit, completely talking about the case like she's not supposed to be doing. So I don't even know why she would be doing that, aside from the fact that just mentally unstable. And then this woman, Shara, that she's paired up with now, is just a terrible, horrible person. This I'm not going to show a whole lot, though, but this is something that Arlena filed. She actually filed this as proof that she did not harm her child. And this is actually the most damning document that's out there. This actually shows 100% that she was harming her child. And I'd never caught this before. Actually, Paige caught this other night over here. And we started looking more into this, and she was about to kill her teenager. Her autistic teenager. Notice of innocence of all fabricated false allegations brought up against me as a loving mother. No suspicion of abuse, no deficiencies in nutritional risk assessment, meaning my son, JDZ, was not in imminent danger when he was unlawfully stripped from my loving care. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt my son, JDZ, should have never been taken in the first place. See Exhibit E. So this is where shit gets pretty disturbing. You can see here this document was from 8/31/2018. And she even puts it down there, days before my son was unlawfully taken from my loving care. And in this document, they say that there was no signs of child abuse, which I'm pretty sure they were referring to like physical child abuse. This right here is very disturbing. So her 16-year-old had a BMI of 13.3, which is your body mass index. Now, you may be wondering why that's bad. Just to show you, I got everything right here, 31.9 kilograms, that's 70 pounds, 70.3 pounds, but we're going to round down to 70 pounds. Length 61 inches, which I got all of that put into this anorexic BMI calculator. So Jonathan was 5 feet 1 inches. He was 16 years old and he weighed 70 pounds. His BMI 13.23, so that comes out right about where it was. If I would have done like the exact on the weight, it probably would have been spot on. But so just so you understand what you're seeing there. That being said, a BMI below 17.5 in adults is one of the common physical characteristics used to diagnose anorexia. There are also different tiers of anorexia based on BMI, ranging from mild 17.5, moderate 16 to 16.99, and severe 15 to 15.99, to extreme under 15. A BMI below 13.5 can lead to organ failure, while a BMI below 12 can be life-threatening. Note, however, that BMI alone is not enough to make a diagnosis of anorexia and is solely a possible indicator. So, her autistic son at 16 years old had one of the most, this is a step above dying. He was in the BMI category where his organs were shutting down. When he was taken to the hospital, it's actually because he was shitting blood. And then if you read in here, chief complaint, abdominal pain. This started 2 years. Worse the past week and is still present. It is described as stabbing and cramping and is described as located in the periumbilical area and in the left chest. At its maximum severity, described as severe. When seen in the ED, severity described as severe. Modifying factors, not worsened by anything, not relieved by anything. The patient has had nausea, loss of appetite, and diarrhea. Mother has seen a significant decline in her son's health the past 2 years since he had his appendix out, December 2016. He has been in a PCH as recent as last January, has seen PEDS, GI with questionable follow-up. He has no current PCP. So he had no current PCP at the time of this shit. He wasn't getting the medical care he was needed. Similar symptoms previously, recent medical care, not recently seen, assessed. And so Arlena just saw this part where it said no signs of child abuse, which again, I think that was in reference to any kind of physical abuse. Apparently she looked over the part where they explained that this has been going on untreated for 2 years. She apparently also missed the part where his body mass index is at a very, very serious level that can lead to organ failure. He's below 13.5, and a BMI below 13.5 can lead to organ failure. And then if she would have let it get down to a 12, that's when it gets into the life-threatening point. So, yeah, her son was literally dying in her care. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the very paperwork that she used to try and clear herself. This is her saying, no, I'm a good mother, but it's 100% saying that she had a 16-year-old at 5'1" that weighed 70 pounds and had a body mass index of 13.3. So that goes back to what I said earlier of I can't say I feel completely bad for Arlena. He was taken in with blood in his bowel movement. She removed him from the hospital, tried to put him into, and then a social worker came. It's been a while since I've even looked into this case. But so she took him home against the doctor's advice, and then a social worker came to the house. The social worker was arguing for him to go back to the hospital. Arlena did not want to take him back to the hospital. So finally her husband agreed, like, no, we need to take him back to the hospital. Her son was apparently sitting on the couch groaning in pain and grabbing his sides, and that's when they got him back to the hospital, and that's when CPS stepped in once they were at the hospital, and Arlena was taken out of the hospital. But everything that she's saying and everything that they've pushed, like, it turns out this whole time has been in this document that Arlena entered into the court that 100% clears up any of her claims of being this loving mother and not doing anything harmful, and she was doing everything she can. No, she wasn't. There was no PCP. The kid was, his organs could have been shutting down because of the treatment that she, or the lack of. And that makes sense when you go back and look at her charges after you realize that she was obstructing medical care. It looks like this is more of a negligence case because there hasn't really been a lot of details yet on her actual charges and why and what she's charged with, because her case keeps getting pushed back. Her next court date is in January. I believe January 10th. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's been pushed back to January 10th. But so with her not going to court yet, obviously we haven't had all the details, all the evidence that prosecution is going to bring out, et cetera, et cetera. But it does turn out while we are looking at it, that is just something that I myself even skipped over. I even skipped over this while this was going on a few years back. Or what, this was like last year when we first started looking at this. But I think a lot of people did, that when it comes to what exactly she's charged with, what she's in trouble for, it does look like it would be felony child abuse regarding the medical neglect and, basically slowly killing her kid. Because this, with the fact that there's no PCP, he hadn't been recently seen. You can see down here the patient has had constipation and chest pain, left-sided, no difficulty with urination, pain with urination, urinary frequency, fever, headache, no sore throat, blurred vision, difficulty breathing, cough or joint pain, no skin rash, chills or back pain. The patient has had bloody stools, blood with BMS, diarrhea often, plus chronic sinus congestion. They moved to the Valley 5 years ago. He is homeschooled due to his autism. Mother states he usually eats fine, but has not eaten much the past week and has intermittent ABD pain, CP, nausea, diarrhea, and constipation. All other symptoms reviewed and are negative. So this definitely gives a better idea of what direction the prosecution is going to head. I think it looks more, because there's even been some questions like maybe she was using the miracle bleach water to try and cure her son's autism, which that could still be. Arlena is obviously not a mentally stable woman. She is obviously susceptible to falling for whatever kind of bullshit can be fed to her online, given just the court documents that she's entered. But at the very least, for a year or two, she just neglected these medical issues, and she let her kids weight get down to the point where there is actually a concern that organ failure could occur. So again, that's why I do think she's a victim of the sovereign citizens. I think they took advantage of her. I do. I don't think she really is mentally there enough to understand the sort of trouble that the sovereigns are getting her into and how badly they screwed up her case. But I don't know how much of just a victim I can put. Yes, she did rip out a PIC line as well. That was, I believe, that was one of the final straws where CPS finally stepped in. When she finally took her kid back to the hospital, she ripped out the PIC line, if I remember that chain of events correctly. But by that point, and also there's another court doc somewhere. I mean, the amount of witnesses that the state has, it's long. It's a lot of witnesses. It's like 3 or 4 dozen different witnesses. But above everything else, there's not a lot that can be... no, it was a PIC line, I believe. She pulled out a PIC line while he was in the hospital, not an IV. But again, she entered this thinking that this was in her favor. And just one thing that can't be faked, can't really lie about any of that, is that body mass index of 13.3. So showing that her teenage son was 70 pounds. So, yeah, I imagine we'll probably have more details of what all exactly was going on after court. I imagine she'll probably be convicted. There's another case in Arizona that will have pretty similar turnout under Melissa Deagle, which at some point, like, I don't even know. I can promise you when court finishes with Melissa, I have a lot of information that needs to be put out there, but I have to wait until after court. But I think that's about it for Arlena. Again, I just want to get this video up here because it's the whole crew. I did see that Jamie video as well. Jamie, yeah, there's a good chance that I'll probably play a chunk of that last video with Shara as well in a different live, just because when Ken Scott came on, it once again showed all the different sovereigns coming together. Sovereign citizen Sherry's. So sovereigns have actually been around for a while. They first started in like the 70s, 80s, and it was basically a misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment, I believe it is. They were initially like a racist group. You actually could not, you had to be white to be a sovereign back when they first started in like the 70s, 80s. Let me actually, here, I'll actually pull this up real quick. I put this together a while ago. This is an article I did a while back on sovereigns, and I'll drop it. So they're not necessarily a cult. They're odd. They've been declared by the FBI as domestic terrorists. Oh, there's Crystal Nuttall. But like this is the actual origin of the group. The origin of the sovereign movement can be traced back to William P. Gale and a hate group in Oregon in 1971. The white supremacy group Posse Comitatus hated Jews, African Americans, and government officials above the rank of sheriff. The group deemed the federal government as illegitimate and only recognized lawful authority on a county level. Posse Comitatus were also avid supporters of tax rebellion. Posse Comitatus is defined as the power force of the country, the entire population of a country above the age of 15, which a sheriff may summon to his assistance in certain cases as to aid him in keeping the peace and pursuing and arresting felons. In 1878, the Posse Comitatus Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 1385, outlawed the use of Army or Air Force to enforce the law unless authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress. Gale mistakenly identified the 14th Amendment as an act that converted sovereign citizens into federal citizens by an act of agreement to accept benefits offered by the federal government. Many sovereign groups today mistakenly interpret the first line of the 14th Amendment as meaning all citizens of the United States are slaves to the government due to the federal government overriding state laws. Some have come to the conclusion they can file paperwork with the county government to renounce the amendment, which in turn frees them from the legal confines that bind their fellow American slaves. So it's with the sovereigns, the problem with the sovereigns is there is not just one sovereign citizen group. They have like a common belief, but it's a bunch of little groups. And they don't refer to themselves as sovereigns. They say there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. It's an oxymoron term, which is correct, except for the fact that that's still that's the term the federal government has given to them. So there's not just one group. It's just a bunch of little groups who don't even recognize each other at times, but they share these like common beliefs and these online myths. Like the internet has really helped the growth of sovereign citizens. They believe in straw men, that your birth certificate puts you into a legal binding contract with the government, and then the government sells your birth certificate to foreign countries for what you might potentially be worth in the future. The U.S. Treasury has money for all of us, and if you destroy your straw man and turn in the right paperwork, which nobody has been able to do yet, that you can unlock this just endless wealth from the, I mean, it's crazy. They all follow like certain stuff, but then they all branch out into their own shit as well. But you know, I guess while I have this up, this is actually kind of important because like one thing, Arlena was, she was said to be sound to stand trial. So the thing with that actually goes back to this case right here, which I don't know. Yeah, Heather Ann Tushy Giraffe and Randall Keith Bean, which what they did was they basically hacked the Federal Reserve and took around $31 million, then got charged for it. They went to court. They wanted to represent themselves. Tushy Giraffe was actually a former attorney. She acted as Bean's attorney to help him steal this money. And what happened was they went and they represented themselves in court, and they used sovereign practices in court. And then they were found guilty because sovereign law does not work in court. So once sovereign law did not work in court, they were like, well, you guys shouldn't have let us represent ourselves. And the court was like, well, you said you wanted to. And the court gave them mental evaluations to see if they were competent to make that decision to represent themselves. It turned out they were. And then what ended up happening was actually a pretty big deal. This decision right here from the United States Courts of Appeals, when these two tried to appeal the fact that the court actually let them stand trial, they actually even used the argument that the court should have heard how crazy they sounded and not let them represent themselves. Let's see. Here, I think I have better talking points in that article. I think I picked out some of the key points. All right. At the end of the day, the appeal was a landmark in dealing with sovereign law. It raised the main question: were their idiosyncratic actions and unconventional beliefs enough to establish proof they were mentally unsound? The court determined the hard reality was that the values of the Sixth Amendment allow individuals charged with crimes to act in unorthodox ways, even if that compromises other values of the Sixth Amendment. In similar cases, the Supreme Court has never suggested an eccentric worldview establish mental incompetence. The hard fact is that intelligent people, even very intelligent people, can believe baffling things, the decision read. Bean Tushy Giraffe and the countless others who believe in strawman theories may be misguided, some dangerously so, but that does not necessarily mean they live in a private mental world devoid of all reality. The court affirmed both convictions. So, what this means is even though Arlena is doing this sovereign shit and definitely showing reasons for concern and reasons to question her mental stability. Let's get up to the top here. God, it's so long. There's so much bullshit. And that's like how the majority of these sort of filings are. But so yeah, like right here, just looking at this, even though it's pretty fucking clear that there's something mentally off here, that does not mean that she cannot represent herself. That doesn't mean that she cannot stand trial. That does not mean a lot of things. It means she believes some crazy shit, but at the end of the day, does she know she's in Arizona? Does she know the court is real? Does she know laws is real? Is there an aspect of reality in her life, even though she believes this crazy bullshit? And this is something that, like even these 3 kidnappings with the E-Clause guys, and then some of these QAnon stuffs, like the train conductor who tried to drive his train into the USNS Mercy, and Jessica Prim that drove across the country with knives threatening to kill Vice President Mike Pence and showed up at the Mercy because there were children on there. There's these crazy beliefs, and you'll see like this decision from the Supreme Court coming into play because like you may fall into some of this conspiracy shit, but it's not going to necessarily put you high enough to be in a place where you are not found competent to stand trial. So that's the thing. Like people like Arlena that are just following these people to her demise, after the fact, there's not going to be an argument. She can't say these people told me to do this. I didn't know I couldn't do this. She can't say anything like that. Once she's convicted, she's going to be convicted. And I'm sure she'll do a frivolous appeal that will be thrown out. But overall, just because she believes all this crazy nonsense, and like Arlena's one of the people who says they like don't have jurisdiction over her, and there's jackbooted thugs that came and took her kids and arrested her and kidnapped her and blah, blah, blah. Just because those are some of her beliefs, it does not mean that she cannot be held accountable for her crimes, for her charges. And so that, unfortunately, and I mean at the same time fortunately, because again, I have mixed feelings with Arlena, especially when it comes to this whole BMI of 13.3. Like, she had her kid at a body mass index that is in the area that can cause organ failure. I don't know. Super hard for me to just look at her as a sovereign victim, because obviously there's some crazy shit going on there, and her kid had to put up with some crazy shit for a long time. So I'm not really sure on the pity thing for her. But again, her kid, he's with the dad now, and from everything I've heard, he's doing better there. He's thriving with his father. Again, it's not a CPS case like Fran was claiming. It's a CPS case where CPS is getting tons of money because the kid's autistic, and they're getting these federal fundings, which is true. Actually, when they do have a special needs child in their care, they do get more federal funding for that, but the child isn't in their care. Like for months, they tried to work with Arlena, and she would just scribble all over the letters to her from CPS, and she would post pictures of that. She was stuck on the fact that they don't have jurisdiction over there, or over her. She was stuck on this federal sovereign nonsensical court case that she tried to start that got thrown out. I'm not even sure if you could call it a lawsuit technically, because it's just something she filed that really didn't mean anything. It's insane how this has gone, but they did give her so many chances, and they tried to work with her. They tried repeatedly to work with her, and she would not do it. She thought she was above the law. She thought she was above everybody, and now she's getting the consequences of her actions. And I imagine that's going to get worse when she finally actually gets to go to trial. So that's Arlena. Luckily, we have this video now and shit as her trial does go forward. And luckily, Shara was dumb enough to post this video, because again, I didn't have it, and it just shows how far back David Straight and them go, because David Straight is one that's really dodged a lot of bullets here, when he's one of the craziest and has been leading a lot of families into this doom. So he's somebody that I don't want to keep on leaving off the hook, but we'll get there. We will get there. I think that's all for this live, though. That sums up the Arlena thing. If you do run across her, if they do start trying to push things for her, because I believe she's had like 4 different GoFundMes at this point. So it's another one of those situations where they're trying to do crowdfunding for her legal defense, blah, blah, blah. If this is a case you happen to run across, stay away from it. Don't put your money into it. Don't give her your money. This woman doesn't need your money as far as it looks. They didn't do anything with the first money that she was given. So yeah, if you see anything about it, ask why the fucking body mass index was 13.3. Did Jessica Prim get her kids back? I do not think Jessica got her kids back. That's a good question. I know she got rather mad at me about one of the lives I did, and she was doing like QAnon type threats towards me a while ago. Are they a particular political group? Not really. They're not really too big on politics. The sovereigns aren't. If anything, because like the sovereigns have kind of blended in with Q, I would say they kind of lean towards the right, like the far right, not just your normal Republicans. I mean, like the more far right conspiracy, fringe side of the right. That'd probably be who they get along with a little bit better. But for the most part, it also depends on how sovereign they are, because there like is different levels of sovereign. There's like people that think that they just don't need a license to travel instead of drive, which they're a little bit more harmless. They're not doing like the super crazy shit. Then there's the people that think that they're going to get the Federal Reserve to give them money once they expose their fucking straw man name, and they're using quantum grammar because they think quantum grammar is a thing. Like, so it really depends on the level of sovereign. Once you go into like the level of like quantum grammar, not gonna be a whole lot of like relevancy with anything else going on in the world. That's where they like just believe in their own courts. They actually have like their own court systems, and they'll indict people with their own fake paperwork and shit. I mean, like the sovereigns get really fucking deep and insane, like really, really, really deep and insane. Actually, in that article, Crystal Nuttall, which is one of Arlena's advocates. Like, this is an example of the more hardcore, like, they have their own court. This is a declaration of indictment that was put together by a great jury of the American National Union of the United States of America and Party. This was after Crystal Nuttall, one of Arlena's advocates, helped kidnap a woman's child from a CPS, the actual CPS building. Her and like three other women, or two other women and the mother, kidnapped this child. And this was a response to Crystal being charged for helping kidnap that child. This is something their imaginary court put together, though. So that's where I say it's kind of hard to put them with a specific political party, because when you really get into the more hardcore ones, they like are their own people. This is the Human Rights Tribunal International. None of this exists. Like, none of this fucking exists. This is all made up. This is not recognized or respected by any sort of legal system on the face of the fucking planet, except for with this little group that like makes this shit. So it's hard to try and put blame for the sovereigns on any specific political party, especially when you get to this side where it's like super deep and just fucked off. And like this, it's like it's borderline just a detachment from reality. Like, just nothing going on in the country portrays to them because they're their own thing. They're just literally like, fuck it, we're just gonna make our own thing. We're gonna make the fucking great jury of the United States of America. It's dangerous. I get why the FBI has marked them as domestic terrorists, because this is dangerous. This is some crazy shit. But yeah, I don't know. Sovereigns, if it's something you want to look more into, I did put that article in the links, and then you can just do some Googling. As of recently, it's been getting some more mainstream attention, and like because of these kidnappings, some of these people that we were talking about a couple of years ago have been getting some mainstream media attention now that they're really starting to cross that line. Ever since Cynthia Absig was arrested for plotting to kidnap her child, and then Neely Blanchard, and then the most recent one, which I forget, I believe we did a live on it though, but there was a third one that just recently happened. But yeah, the E-Clause fellas, pretty much. E-Clause could be considered sovereign. No doubt about it, just with their shit. And they're actually pretty far up this level, because they like, they say that they're, God, what is the stupid shit they say? I know somebody in those chats fucking knows. What is it? They're like, are they arbitrators of the courts, or they're like, man, Kirk's like giving himself some sort of title, and they like claim that they can, God, what is it that they do? I don't think maybe they're auditing courts, defense contractors, that's one of them, but there's another one. Like when they showed up for Timothy Homeseth's case, Kirk was claiming that maybe it was audit courts, that they were auditing the court on behalf of the federal government, which is like a step away from like Bears Law and what is it, Ronnie Davis or whatever. Yeah, was it auditing? I think it was auditing, that they were going around auditing the courts. A forensic audit, yeah. God damn it, for loss prevention. That's right. That's right. Yeah, they're fucking auditors for loss prevention. Oh my God. See, that's where, yeah. So I don't even know if the original, I don't even know if the original person that asked about the sovereigns is still in the chat, but that kind of gives you an idea of like there's so many different levels of it. But I would say like the E-Clause guys are a little bit closer over to this level with their fucking First Amendment audits for fucking loss prevention. Oh God. I hate all of these people. I hate all these people. It's just so shitty that people actually let them screw up their case. It's so fucking shitty. Tell lie vision. Yeah, Kirk Pendergrass does his different word breakdowns. That's God. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end this. I think probably tomorrow we'll try and blow through that Jamie video and just parts of it. Because honestly, at this point, I don't even think Jamie needs any help destroying her case, and I'm not really interested in destroying her case. I'm more interested in just showing that Ken Scott phone call part. I don't know if I'll really show anything else besides that, but I kind of want that Ken Scott call just because, again, people that he names off, just like in this Arlena video tonight where he names off these different sovereigns. So it's just keeping all of these kiddos rounded up around in the same area and being able to keep receipts of where they are, who they're talking with, who's hooked up with who, who's helping who, fuck who over. So yeah, I'll probably do that real quick tomorrow just to have that on the channel and shit as well. So you guys be good. Thanks for watching, and I imagine I'll see you tomorrow.